What's going on, everybody? This is Marcellus coming at you with a new series that's probably going to be short. We'll see how long I talk for. But this series is going to be focused on reviewing books, comic books, and regular books, novels, that I read. And we'll talk about them and just kind of share my opinion on them and hopefully get you to read them and explore more titles that maybe you wouldn't have before. So let's get into it. The one that we have here today, this is Manifest Destiny Book 1. This one is by Chris Dinges. I'm guessing I might have butchered that. Matthew Roberts and Owen Gianni also might have butchered that. But however, this is Book 1. I also have Volume 2 on the shelf. But Manifest Destiny, it's a skybound Image comic title. But what's really cool about it and what caught my eye as someone who loves history and especially historical fiction is it's the story of Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea and everyone else that was kind of involved. But essentially, as you can kind of see even just from the cover, you have the skull flowers and the buffalo skull, we'll say, that's there, and then even the things here on the back that are kind of under them creepily as they stand there. It almost has an eldritch horror vibe to it, but basically these characters, Lewis and Clark and the other people with them, venture out west just like they normally do, but there's also a side mission where they encounter these monsters. And at first, which is kind of true, but at first I thought Lewis and Clark were the villains and that we would basically be rooting for these monsters to kill them all, which is kind of true, honestly. Anti-colonialism kind of mindset there. But yeah, it's really them kind of clearing the way for the greatness of the U.S. Well, also, there's a prophecy going on that they have to fulfill. And I won't tell you much about that prophecy because that's a huge spoiler. Maybe I'll talk more about it in a longer video if you want. You might also notice this St. Louis arch here, as we know it to be called. However, the arch in this case, there's multiple arches that they encounter, and around each of them is where they basically encounter these monsters, which leads to the theory that eventually is proven true, I guess wouldn't be a big spoiler to say, that these arches are in fact gateways to other universes where these monsters are coming in, so they have to destroy all the arches that they come across. And I feel like it's probably expected, so this also wouldn't be a spoiler to tell you that eventually this leads to the St. Louis Arch as we know it being created as a secret homage to what these people went through. So Manifest Destiny, really great book. I can show you maybe something on the inside that wouldn't be too much of a spoiler. I guess mostly just showing you some of the art here, but for example, here's just what the art kind of looks like there. But highly recommended that you read this book. Also, let me know down in the comments if there is any other book you think I would enjoy. I've read, not all of them obviously, but I've read almost all the Marvel books I would need to, so I'm looking for any graphic novels especially that are outside the Marvel and we'll say DC realm, but I haven't read as much DC, so I'll take some good ones there too. But recommend something down below if you'd like. Thanks for watching.